Hi, my name is Aaron Linsdau. I am a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Today we are at the Tillamook Cheese Factory. Bum bum bum. The Tillamook Cheese Factory is located in, where else but Tillamook, Oregon. Even though you can see that it's a gray and rainy day and everybody's like, oh, it's terrible. Actually, one of the reasons it's super good for cheese is because, like, grass. The grass grows crazy, long, and green, and people love that here. And so, here we are. Nope, here we go. And so we're coming into the cheese factory, and you come in here, you flip around and immediately, do you want to go do the cheese factory tour, or do you want to go eat, or do you want to buy gifts? Now, of course, you probably don't want to buy gifts yet, so you haven't seen the cheese factory. Usually when you come here, it's a great place to come to lunch. The history of the entire facility is shown right here. It started way back in 1854, 1851. The King of Cheese, and let me show you real quick. The King of Cheese came here, 1894, showed everybody how to make the magic cheddar, and then they began going up through the years and innovation, new factories and techniques, marketing, the package redesign. That's the critical package right there. And I'll show you what that is. And dairy done right. Farmers and Visitors Center, and it's all about that ice cream. So when you come into this factory here, you're like, oh, it's not a factory like what you think of. You'll see the factory, but it's all behind walls because it's food handling. But really what you come here for is the food. So check it out. They have little quick bites here, yogurt creation, espresso, of course, pastries. I didn't try that, but what I did try over here is you can come and you'll notice the snaky line here. In the summer, it gets crazy here because this is a brand new facility, completely rebuilt in 2018. So, I mean, it's gorgeous. I remember when I came here in the early 2000s, I mean, you walk up, you see the glass overview, but they didn't have this. I don't remember, I wish I would have taken some pictures. I don't remember what it was like, but this is incredible. So you come in here and check this out, and they've got the classic options here. The thing that you really want to get is you get that classic tomato soup and cheese curds and it's put in there. That was super good. The pizza's supposed to be really good. I did the classic Tillamook grilled cheese sandwich. The cheese sandwich is pretty good. I would say this would be the one downer. It is an $8 grilled cheese sandwich, so it's like you'd probably be better off if you feel compelled to get, I'm looking at the menu here, get the tuna melt, get a Cubano or a cheeseburger or something. I mean, the grilled cheese sandwich is really good, but $8. So that is one thing like, ugh. But what I'm gonna do is look around the facility here. I mean, this place gets packed. So if you're squeamish about hanging out with people, you don't want to do that. But it's well worth it. And of course, I'm here in Christmas. But when you come over here, they, of course, being in a cheese factory, draft cola, it's all about the cream soda, baby. These are excellent. I love the pineapple. I mix that with a little bit of orange hibiscus. Yum! So you go over there and you can see them. It's just a huge, huge facility. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you up to the cheese making factory and show you what this is all about. I mean, it's pretty impressive. So we'll march on here. And I'll just put you forward so you can see where you're going. Walk through. Oh, yeah. And of course, when you leave, you gotta get ice cream. Got to get ice cream. And this is all made here. All their different flavors. Tough call. I don't know which one I want, but when I get that ice cream, I'll let you know. And one of the things that they promote is more cream, less air. The really cheap ice cream has lots of ice in it and air, and it makes it light. I mean, like the Italian gelato, it has no air and it's super thick. So there's a somewhere between. Their cheese is very creamy and excellent, and I really like it. Tillamook is a thing they've advertised all over the western United States. It's probably, I'd say, the best cheese. It's definitely better, sorry, than Lucerne cheese. I mean, Lucerne isn't certainly bad, but Tillamook is definitely a step up. So we're going to come in here, and you can actually read the stories of the men and women who work here. Little girls, you know, guys with their families. These are all dairy farmies. These are tough working folks. Every block of cheese gets inspected. They make new products all the time. And you got the super cheese scientist here. And you think, what's the big deal? Imagine what it takes to get all those blocks of cheese to your local grocery store. It's pretty crazy, and I'm going to show you that in just a moment. What I'm going to do is show you the science room. Now, you come over here and you actually learn about the cows. You can actually grab the milking thing, and you can feed your cow, see what it's like. But the two critical cows are the Holstein, which produces the highest volume of milk, and the Jersey cow, which has the best high butter fat and protein of all the cows. So there's a certain mix and blend of the proper milk from each of the different cows to make this stuff really good. And they show you the different food they put. And the coolest thing is, and they show this video.
Every day, and it goes on top of a cow mattress, which is made of foam.
That's right. So see, they take care of their animals supremely, because I have to admit, I've seen people like, oh, you know, that's terrible. They do a lot of effort to keep these cows happy, because the happier the cow is, the better the milk is. I mean, they even figured out this cow back scratcher machine here. So when the cow presses against it, it spins and it rubs the cow. And you can come over here and you get 21 seconds to process the cow. You gotta spray the teats off once you press the button. So you press the button, spray, 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 spray. You take the rag, you wipe, 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 wipe. You gotta get the vacuum thing on. 1, 2, 3, and oops. Whoa, 4. And I had 1 second left to do it. I didn't do as well, but that's why I'm not a cow milker guy. Apparently there's an actual robotic machine that milks the cows too. They should have a video, because you always wonder, like, how does this stuff actually get to you? So you can't milk them by hand, and then they've got a whole video on their website to show you, and it's pretty crazy. So hopefully I'll be able to see if I can show you that. But you come over here, and this is where the magic happens, where you convert from milk to cheese. Now, way down there is where the milk comes in the factory, but you come over here and you've got this time-tested ingredients of enzymes, milk, annatto, and salt. And that's all that goes in the cheese. And these huge vats of, there's 65,000 pounds of milk that gets converted to curds. Each of these tanks does 2 or 3 batches every day. I mean, it's pretty crazy. So those tanks, and they've got, 6 different vats, that every 2 to 3 times a day, the curds get pulled out, they get cooked down, converted into milk and whey, and then they get transported. And you can see the guys here. I've got some video earlier, hopefully I remember to cut that in. And he stands there watching this cheese all day to make sure it's doing its right thing. And then, so way back when, in order to make cheddar, it was a very hand-intensive, person-intensive labor process, where, I mean, you had to sit there and churn and mix, and that's how you make the cheese curds. No longer. We've got the thing called the Cheddar Mester in the back where this guy is standing. You can see the Cheddar Mester sign there. And that massive machine, the cheddar curds convey down and do their magic. And then, all right, they come over here. And they used to do this in open vats. I remember seeing that process, but they haven't done that in quite a while apparently. And the Cheddar Mester processes, and then those curds go into the salt machine. That adds just a little bit of salt that draws out the whey and the moisture. And then the salt machine kicks the curds down to these pipes, which are vacuum sucked up into this huge room. And then, the final process to get your big block of cheese. You can actually buy a block of cheese. I don't know what you would do with a 40-pound block of cheese, but I'm sure you could come up with something, is down here. So right here is where the people pack the cheese, and this comes out 24/7. This factory doesn't stop, because once the factory stops, you gotta like power thing down, clean it, it's a problem. So in this big room, those pipes, you can't really see them way over there, suck into this big room, and each one of these steel towers back here get packed with 800 pounds of cheese. The cheese compresses down, and at the bottom, see all the red blinking deals? Guillotines cut the bottom 40 pounds of the cheese off. There's some laser scanner deals. And the guy picks up another bag, and when he loads the bag, and there, boom, you can see the cheese popping out. As the cheese pops out, then the folks here activate, actually the automated conveyor activates. It comes down here to these folks. They do a handling and sealing process. Then the little vacuum sealer squashes it and sucks all the air out of the cheese. And then the cheese, shoom, goes under your feet. So that cheese goes under your feet. It's a 40-pound block. It's actually 41 or 42 pounds, but in general, I mean, it's pretty darn close. It's not precise, but it doesn't have to be, because behind me will be the process. So let me show you the end process after all that cheese goes there. These vacuum sealers seal up that cheese. Oh, there we go. Let's watch that thing there. Cool. And then that huge block of curd cheese goes away into the cooling tower. So this cheese, after you get that 40-pound block of cheese, goes into a cooling tower, and it cools for in cold storages for anywhere from 60 days to 2 years, depending on the type of cheese you want. So we're going to come over here, and I'll show you this little conveyor deal. So somewhere under me, the cheese gets boxed, runs over here, and goes on this crazy spiral corkscrew deal, and then it goes into a cold storage warehouse. Way back in there, you can't see it, but you see all these cooling pipes and steam and condensate and all that. That goes back into this massive warehouse where the cheese hangs out for months, because it can't just come off the curd machine, because then it tastes like cheese curds. Instead, you want to let it cool down, and they use a blast cooler to get that stuff cold, and then it begins the aging process. It has to sit there, and just the magic has to happen. Cheese making cannot be rushed. So now I'm going to take you to the other end of the factory, just because of how the loop around works, and I'll show you the rest of the process. So once you get the curds out of the factory, or the big blocks out of the factory, it's taken by a forklift and dropped into the aged cheese area. One moment, and I'll walk over and show you that, and I'll show you the whole operation. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so way back there, let me zoom in here. The aged cheese enters there, and you can see way back there these blocks begin their process, and they're all vacuum formed and sealed. And you can see over there the cheese enters there, depacked. There's a robotic debagger that takes the plastic bags off. These then come over to the people working over there. I think it's a couple ladies working. They finish the debagging process, and they put the cheese on the cutter, and then they slice the cheese into those perfect blocks of, I don't remember, it's like 4-pound blocks, I think it is. and that's the Tillamook signature block size. It's a little bit different than those things. Zip along, they go to a robotic layer. Okay, we'll walk back here. Sorry, it might be a little shaky. And the robotic layer, wait for it to focus, weighs the cheese blocks. And if any of them are defective, they get kicked off to one side or another because they're not perfect, and then they get converted to shredded cheese. Okay, we'll zoom out here. And then the handlers check for the perfection of cheese. They're not exactly sure. Well, I'm not exactly sure what's wrong with them, but they check them. And then those blocks of cheese zoom around to, let's see where it is. Yeah, the people check the bags back there, and you'll see. Let me zoom in here. It'll take a minute. There we go. Cool. And so the staff back there, they do the final check, and those are the defective blocks where they get kicked out and then they get converted to something else for various reasons. And you see the cheese going along here into the little sealer deal. And way up there, the sealed blocks come along, and the people do their check, and those bags that are open then come along, keep checking. It's kind of a little circuitous sort of deal. You can't really see too well, but that machine there whips around and checks the blocks to make sure they're all correct. Those blocks then go into the vacuum sealer in this thing called the blue octopus. That spins it around, that does the vacuum forming and the packing and the sealing and the heat sealing and everything. And then those cheese blocks run through a quality checkpoint. They also run through a metal detector, which is interesting. Probably something tragic happened. Let's see. There we go. I'm sure something tragic happened a long time ago where cheese factories had to have metal detectors. So that's actually part of their process. Cheese goes through for quality inspection, laser gates, and all this craziness. And after it goes through the metal detector to make sure there are no defects, those probably get thrown away. It spins around in the factory, goes up this little conveyor here, and then disappears into the packing area. Just like that. Little blocks of cheese going all across the country. Cool. All right, so the blocks of cheese go into the packing area, and then they get shipped to you. So, I mean, just the chance to actually see just how this massive process goes. They bring in a couple million pounds of milk a day, every day, and it comes in 24/7. Those milk trucks never stop because the cows have to be milked two or three times a day, and then the milk has to go in the tanks and the trucks that go into here. They get converted and put into the vats. I mean, this whole process that I've shown you, and that never stops. In order to keep this factory working and prevent spoilage, the cheese comes in here, it's blown off, bagged, and then zoomed along. So this has to continuously roll. So that's the thing. Imagine having the pressure of having to keep something going 24/7. That's pretty crazy because that's the only way to keep the factory clean and moving and deliver, because there's just that much volume of demand. Now, here's the magic. You get to see this cheese, and you do the cooked cheese, but they actually offer cheese samples. Ha! This is so cool. So we're gonna walk over here to the cheese sampling place. And normally this is a crazy line. And they've got two sample lines here. And you can start off with the all nice signs. You can actually eat the cheese curds. Then you hop over to the Colby, which is a very soft and mellow butter texture. You go into the white medium cheddar. That's perfectly darn good. Then you go to the sharp cheddar, which is my favorite. And you give you a toothpick. You stab that sucker. Well, of course, I'm not going to talk with my mouth full. Yeah, right. But if you want to step up, they've got 2-year extra sharp weight cheddar samples. And I'll get one here. You stab it. Come around. Ah. And the older the cheddar, the harder it is. And then they end up with pepper jack, which is really nice. Totally cool. And then, of course, you come to the gift shop. Where they have all their products, and I don't know, you buy the cheese back there. But let me show you the cool thing here. Because we think, oh, 2-year-old cheddar, what's the big deal? That's no big deal. Oh. Right now, and they've got cheddar that is 6 years old. And you think, oh, that's horrible. No, no, no. You let it sit there and do its magic, and it just gets tangier and tangier. I had 36-month-old cheese in Amsterdam. It was too much for me. You just got to eat tiny little nibs. But there's a couple of people standing in front of there, so I'll wait a minute. But as you can see around me, I mean, this is a major, major operation. They send that Tillamook cheese all across the West, and I don't know about the East, but I mean, it's definitely available there. So one of the magics of Tillamook is they figured out the marketing. Once they began the marketing campaign in San Francisco and on the West Coast, that's when their cheese really started to take off. So marketing and advertising really made Tillamook what it is. I mean, they have a good product, but a lot of places in the country have a good product. So how did they make the magic happen? It was advertising, improving their product, and cycling back and forth with customers. That's how they made it happen. So folks aren't moving out here, so I'll just come and check this out anyway. But check this out. So you can have, this is like wine sampling here. 2012 and it's 2018. They give all the nutritional value and all there. So 6-year-old cheese, this stuff's gonna be crazy sharp. Whew, I don't know if I could eat much of that, but that is the magic. And if you want a big old brick, 2013, how much is this brick? 10 bucks. Oh no, this one's 25 bucks because it's a huge chunk of cheese. And you think, wow, that's really expensive. Well, that's the thing of the trade of quality. And just to let you know, full disclosure, I am not sponsored by Tillamook. They're not paying me for this video. I'm just, as an explorer and adventurer and traveler, I just like to take people to places they might never have been, like eating cheese curds. Totally cool. So full disclosure, I'm not paid or anything. I'm just doing my videos. I'm looking around here, and now you can see the line starting to build up for the food, and away they go. So if you ever have the chance, you're in Portland, you have a little bit of time. It's probably like a 2-hour drive out here. Here, let me get in the light. It's about a 2-hour drive out to Tillamook, but if you've got the time, you're a cheese and enthusiast. You know, milk is milk. Not really, but whatever. Milk is milk, but you get into the cheese, you get into all the different variants of cheese, and voila, you got it. And then here are the big bricks of Tillamook. The boat is their way that they shipped it, and this sharp cheddar, big 5-pound block, 25 bucks. That's a lot of cheese. I like my cheese, but I don't think I could get through there. This extra sharp cheddar, 15 months. Yeah. So if you ever, instead of wine tasting or something like that, the Oregon coast and Tillamook, it has cheese. That is the magic here. It's not really wine-grown country. It's way too wet and dank, but for cows that are maintained well, this is the magic. So if you have the opportunity, I would highly recommend stopping by the Tillamook Cheese Factory, taking a tour, buying their ice cream or whatever. I mean, every time I've been out here, it's been a long time, but I remember it. It was so distinctive and fun. I loved it. My name is Aaron Linsdau. I'm a polar explorer and motivational speaker. Please like and comment on the video, subscribe to the channel below. I'll leave some info about the Tillamook factory here. This is the world beyond experience, the world beyond your doorstep, and the world beyond your city limits. Thank you.